right.
All right, now I can move over and make noise on my chair. All right.
Yeah, right. Yeah, sorry. So I had everything moved out of the way for the Infinity Day that didn't happen. Yeah, so
Sorry
it got canceled. But yeah, so we are. But Frostgrave.
So you moved it back, and then you got to move it again for Frostgrave.
Yeah, right now I'll move it. Move it for Sunday. Yes. Yeah, I got to figure out. I should figure out a way to just kind of like have this at a standard distance, or maybe just like tape. Like do marks on the floor. Yeah.
Well,
so
if you need help on Sunday, setting stuff up.
Yeah, and just like so I can line it up exactly the same. And you may notice our lighting is a little different, so it's more dominated by the natural light because I turned off those fluorescents. That was the thing that was buzzing that I couldn't figure out. These are like fluorescents from the 80s above us, and they were making a weird sound, and it sounded like signal noise, sounded like line noise. But
maybe we were actually sending some kind of signal through them, right?
Oh yeah. So if you don't have headaches anymore, that may be.
If you don't have headaches anymore, you need to tune back into that signal. Huh?
Right, you're not getting that good old signal. So how are things going?
Yeah, right. I don't like this hat. I'm seeing who does the brim like that? Anyway.
Oh yeah. You're more flat brim.
Yeah. My parents sent me this one. That's the Bird Super Bowl champion one. I'm like, okay, fine. Anyway, hobby wise, I'm doing okay. I painted up 2 more Frostgrave soldiers.
Oh yeah. Are you going to add any big units, any specialists to your?
I'm already like am I maxed out on specialist? Yeah, I'm pretty getting up there. I've already got like 3 or 4. I think I've got enough money. I think I'm gonna just hire some like men at arms, but I have to replace that dead infantry.
Right. Yeah. Yes, we need some kind of mind control shield that we can share.
It's funny. I sent a picture to the playing on the line chat, and he's like, the opponent's like, those look great. Can't wait to add an army. I'm like, oh.
That's right.
Yeah, man. The yikes. Mind control has dethroned Bone Dart as the most annoying spell in the game.
Yes,
right?
and Luke has both.
yeah, Luke has both. But I mean, like, we don't see Bone Dart that much.
Yeah.
It's as much as I hate that spell, right? Because I'm on the tail end of it, or the target end of it. It's interesting how spell choice like that just has such a large impact on the game. Because basically, any new soldier I buy, anything I buy, I'm just kind of like, oh, this would be great. Look at that heavy tank. That kind of, I'm just like, perfect target for mind control, right? So it spells, opponent spells do affect kind of what you bring to the game.
Yeah, that's true. And it'll be interesting too now that we'll have constructs, because if your class if you have control construct, you'll actually have.
I don't think I have control. I have animate.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, yeah.
But there should be some.
And I checked. Constructs are not immune to mind control. Oh. I thought they would be. I thought they would have been. I swore they would be. They are not. Right?
Wow. Yeah. So I thought my floating skull thing. I couldn't figure out how to use that because you only get. It's like 6 inches or whatever, but it's a perfect. As soon as I, whatever is mind controlled, I just like drop that skull on him, so he's at least tangled, tangling with that for a round.
It's a real kick in the pants to have to like down your own soldier, because like
right, yes, just keep tying him up. And I like it too with the because we're using the optional rule where when you pick up a treasure token, we spawn a random monster on a random side of the board.
And sometimes you just get hosed. I mean, it's fair in that it's a random roll, but sometimes you're like, that is the 3rd monster that has popped up on my side of the board. Come on.
Not only 1, but 2 wolves.
Yeah.
So thank you. Yeah, and as we get a little bit higher, we might have to move to the next level.
Yeah, we've only been keeping on tier 1. Yeah.
More difficult monsters.
So natural 20. Giant worm. All right.
Yes. So looking forward to that. That's
me too.
Really fun. All right. And I was actually able to do the cartoon stream yesterday.
Nice. I saw that go up.
Finally got
it's
back to
being an adult.
And I think we had somebody on the upturned table, like a subscriber, go, "What the hell is this?" So I did catch them off guard. If you don't hear the end of the weekly, you have no idea why that would possibly be on the channel.
Surprise cartoon.
Yes.
Well, you're just getting extra stuff.
Right. Like, exactly. There you go. Bonus content.
Content.
Yes, and we have a new subscriber. Thanks
nice.
for reminding me. Yeah, so just
from the cartoon stream.
I guess it's possible. Yeah. Hi B. So thank you, Hi B, and welcome to the subscriber. And I turned on the new community feature. Okay. So basically, it used to be where on that community tab only I could post things, and I would just kind of that be the way to communicate when live streams were called off or new stuff was posted. But now anybody that's a subscriber can post on there and do comments and stuff. So yeah, and you can also
Don't abuse that privilege.
yes, but it's good. It's a nice way then to communicate within the subscriber group to make it more, because we also have the Discord, but
Which I finally joined.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. But not everyone's in there, so it's nice to have a place. And it still seems to be in beta. Sometimes I like, and the other frustrating thing is, in case nobody has seen it and you have no idea what I'm talking about, it only works in the app. So it's an app feature. Yes, so you go to the channel and it says View Community on the channel page on the app. They don't have a desktop version, and maybe they were worried about people like spamming and doing stuff on desktops. So yes, but that's a thing. And we'll be doing more of that, and we'll be doing more Dragonbane tomorrow,
and more Daggerheart. When?
Oh yeah, more Daggerheart. All
right, got to get that.
It's a threat. It's a threat. More Daggerheart. Yes, I was joking in the chat. I'm going to do a weekly fireside chat for Dragonheart, where the player characters are all special little guys. That you don't. So tell me about your special little guy. Do you like those colorful cards he uses? And surprisingly though, they keep adding, and I don't know why this is. It seems like, with the Free League releases, when they're doing their fantasy games, you don't then get this like barrage of new subclasses, new character classes, new spells. You don't have to get this added content. They make a game and it's got a spell list and it's got a class list, and that's the game.
Right.
And but they're following more in like the the 5e tradition, or I guess it's D&D has always been
that's kind of my feeling.
Its profit. Yeah, it's like Dragon Magazine and
well, okay,
regular publications always have to have something to
not to get real deep into it, but okay, Dragonbane. How walled off is each character part, right? Because thinking about, and I don't know how Daggerheart works exactly, but thinking about D&D 5e, like, here's your class. Like, here's your race, here's your class, and things are a bit open now, but, I mean, like, it's not like, it's a class and level system, right? Once you pick your couple things, like, that's it. So it's not like they can say, well, feats kind of broke a little bit, right? But anytime they want to add something kind of new, it's got to go in a new container, right? Because they've put everything in a container, not just like, it's not like Fate where it's like, by the way, here's a couple other, I forget what they call them, like stunts, right? Or like an outgun, the thing that I was reading, like here's some other like feats, right, that kind of go along, or like your tricks or whatever, right? It's like, nope, we got to put it in a container.
Right. That makes sense. It always puzzles me. It's like, okay, so, but if you have already created a character that you've been playing for months or years, it's like, okay, when that new subclass is never gonna, I mean, I guess they could, for NPCs and things and to try to, shake things up, you can add some of that flavor, but for, established campaigns, which I guess they just assume nobody is actually playing
I don't know.
anymore, you have to make a new character to use that subclass.
I mean, well, there's no reason you couldn't have like a stable of characters, right? And you go, Okay. Didn't like that idea. All right. Yeah. Okay. Anyway.
No, it's good to have retainers in it, or like a pool of NPCs, so when there's character death, you don't miss a step, and you can have somebody else to play immediately.
Anyway.
All right. Well, let's get started for this week. All right. So good to see everybody in the chat, all the regulars, and we started out with a nice Snow White emoji from Abyss. Okay. Thank you. All right, but Abyss and Matt and Calarion, of course. Very good to see. Yeah, we've been getting, and Arturo. Yeah. They showed up on the cartoon stream as well. We've been getting some questions, too, about VTTs, like what we think of the different VTTs. So we probably should maybe just do a live stream and kind of discuss that with the players and everyone. And just people's preferences and people's... what things are missing, and just try to give a rundown, because things have changed enough. The landscape has changed enough, especially with all the merging that Roll20 is doing. Yeah. It's getting harder and harder to avoid Roll20. But let's do this. Welcome to the Weekly. I'm Jeremy.
I'm Chris.
And this week on the Weekly, Asmodee profits.
Okay.
Barely. Okay. Tomb Raider RPG canceled. Yep. Mausritter SRD in Creative Commons, and more Daggerheart. They're not stopping the Daggerheart train.
All right.
Daggerheart train keeps moving. So let's start with an interesting article. I think this was on Wargamer about just comparing the financial reports of Asmodee, the largest board game company in the universe.
Is that a fact? Is it actually the largest?
Oh yeah, they bought every. I mean, they
they got embraced.
Yeah,
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, they got everything. So yeah, they're a monster, a giant. But I don't know. I mean, that's maybe English language. I don't know for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, that would not be. There's probably India and China probably have some pretty big markets. All right. So they released their annual report for the 2024-2025 financial year. And recently were separated from their parent company. And remember when they separated them, they're like, oh, here, take this debt with you because you're the only company with assets.
Still don't understand how that works.
Yeah, it's kind of complicated. We'll run through a few of the little maneuvers here. But Asmodee's net profit for the year was $5.46 million on paper, and it dropped to $1.3 million on paper after accounting for exchange rate fluctuations with various international subsidies. So, yeah, the currency stuff hurts. And compare this to Games Workshop, who realized a $204 million profit after all that nonsense. That's...
So is that...
It's everything. It's everything the same, like everything after operations and currencies and everything. Because they play that currency game too, where you're going to pay in Australian dollars. Oh, it's like triple the price in Australia and Japan. Oh, it's more than double. Yeah, so
$204 million profit.
Right. So this doesn't seem. It seems a little ridiculous because the firm made about $1.59 billion in sales, with a healthy operating profit of $1.35 million. But so then what happened? How did they get down to
debt, right?
How did they get down so far? Well, part of that. So they paid out a total of $107 million for financial expenses, meaning interest payments on their bridge loan and various bonds that they've used to basically float the losing half of Embracer.
Right.
So basically they took out this bridge loan, and then Embracer said, thanks, we're going to need that. Okay. And then they eventually did return some of that revenue. But so they're basically making interest payments on their bonds, and a total of $90 million in interest payments to creditors, which was all accrued from acquisitions by Embracer. Nothing that Asmodee did in their operations.
Man, this ain't a business podcast, but that kind of crap should be like illegal.
I'm sure. Depending on how you do it, it is. They figured out the.
Depending on how you do it, it's illegal. Yeah, sure. I'm like, it just be blanket illegal, man.
No, but there's always going to be. Yeah, but you make a law, and they'll just go, okay, well then we'll just call it this. Oh, you make okay, then we'll just call it this. Oh, then we'll wait a week, and then it'll be fine. So, yeah, the money. So they secured money against Asmodee's assets because they're the only people with assets. They transferred money to Embracer to pay off a different loan that Embracer had, and then of course Embracer changed their name to Fellowship Friends or whatever, and now Embracer doesn't have any debt. And then they later transferred back $420 million to Asmodee. So yeah, their total debts are 2.3 times their annual earnings, which is going to be rough for a while. So they're going to be making these really slim profits for a while, not being able to reinvest into anything, just because they were the only part of this acquisition that actually has assets to borrow against. Yes, so it's strange that they have a clear they clear a profit 1,000 times smaller than their revenue. Yes, and the other thing that might cause some disruptions is the loan that they're repaying is a floating interest rate. So if the base rates go up, then the payments go up, and Asmodee's profit will get even teenier. So hopefully that doesn't happen. But why don't they just, because they compared them directly to the profits that Games Workshop makes, why don't they just follow the Games Workshop model? So have, Settlers of Catan and every game change their rule set completely every 2 years, and then you have to buy new miniatures to play the game. That is the business model Asmodee needs, because people just buy a game from them, enjoy it, play it, put it on a shelf, and that's it. They don't make another purchase because they can always take that off the shelf. But if they if the rules were constantly changing for every board game, and there was no such thing as a digital, there's no digital. You only had to buy the physical
rules.
copy.
Just slightly tweak how much wood you get for the sheet, right? It's just like, I don't know.
Every time they just have to. Or they'll just. And this is the collector's edition. This is the special limited edition. This is the anniversary edition.
I saw a special edition of Catan, I thought. Yeah. Anyway.
And then they have to. Make a branded. They have to license. I think they already do that with quite a few games. They'll do like a Star Wars Catan or whatever. They do. I think they rebrand them with licenses. But they really they're playing the game all wrong. They're going way too straight on this. They got to Hasbro it up or Games Workshop it up.
Yeah, wrong. Don't Games Workshop. No.
I thought that was funny, but some strange news, some sad news, and we'll talk a little bit about. This is kind of the same problem I have with companies doing Cthulhu, but they hate Lovecraft and say Lovecraft, is a piece of garbage. But we love Cthulhu. Evil Hat Publishing just announced their official Tomb Raider RPG is done. Yep. So they posted an announcement. We are canceling the Tomb Raider RPG project due to creative differences. We couldn't get our vision to gel with the licensor, so we've chosen to part ways. So they're trying to do a dynamic RPG of exploration and adventure, and they're dealing with Square Enix. So originally this was announced in 2021, and it was going to be called Lara Croft's Mark of the Phoenix, and they released a free PDF, I guess, on the Crystal Dynamics website, which is another Embracer thing. Okay. I think it's all kind of owned by Embracer. So this was announced, but actually they have been trying to get a tabletop RPG for this license since like 2007. They have many failed attempts at doing this. So this was just prior to another kind of abandonment by some other an unnamed group of people that were working on this. So the one that was going to be released by our Evil Hat friends is Tomb Raider: Shadows of Truth, and they kind of ran through everything they were doing with that, but it is now canceled. And with licensing, and maybe especially with a video game property or whatever, you have to go through so many different hands: the legal department and the branding department and the probably the directors and people that have worked with Tomb Raider already. So this is all supposed to be ready for the franchise's 25th anniversary, whenever that is. I guess 2023. Sure. I guess we missed it, but so this was the officially licensed RPG. What you play is members called Truth Seekers, who are the contemporaries and pals of Lara Croft. So you can't play Lara Croft. The only character in the IP. Yeah, you just wave at her before you start every mission, and they go through kind of the what they want to do with the setting, and it's so you explore ancient sites to discover information and artifacts guided by the campaign's raid master.
This is the 2021 one.
Oh, is it 20? Oh, sorry. Oh, no, this is the previous one. Oh, that's right, the previous one.
Because when I heard, I think I might have looked at the Evil Hat Tomb Raider,
the quick
start or something they put out, and knowing the type of company Evil Hat is, and I like Evil Hat, and I'll just be blunt. Stealing artifacts into this day and age is problematic. Right. Like you can't just be like, okay, I'm going to steal this, and the days of Indiana Jones are done, right? Unless you're doing it for the greater good, which is maybe not the way I said, but anyway, and that's what Evil Hat seemed like they were doing, right? Like, okay, we're actually going to go and recover these artifacts to get them back to the people they belong to, right? Or stop other people, which, from what little I played Tomb Raider, is very different from Tomb Raider, right? And then, that tagline there about the 2021 one was very different. That's where if you scroll down a little bit, it's players will explore ancient sites to discover information and artifacts guarded by the campaign's raid master. Campaigns will focus on knowledge, language, and investigation skills, in addition to action-oriented skills to keep it true to its franchise roots, right? Like that, it seems to me that Square Enix wanted kick in the door, loot the room, blast dinosaurs with your two pistols, right? Okay, the only Tomb Raider I played was when Lara Croft still had polygonal boobs, right? That's the only one I played, right? That's what I think they wanted. And
what Evil Hat wanted to do,
was vastly different, right?
The PBTA, team playbooks, crafter, scholar, hunter, companion, legacy. Yep. So,
but I mean, how do you? I guess I'm surprised then that the Evil Hat version of Tomb Raider got as far as it did, right? But then, how do you, unless it's a 2-player or a solo game, you kind of pointed out that Lara Croft is the only named character in that thing, right?
Yeah.
How do you play a Tomb Raider role-playing game with your traditional party where one person's being the GM and you got 4 players and they're all playing Lara Croft. It's not going to work, right?
Yeah. And the difference. So the Raid Master, in that previous failed edition, the Raid Master was the GM. The Keeper of Truths was the renamed GM for this the PBTA version that Evil Hat was working on. Yeah, and they're really trying to change the focus of it, exploration, self-discovery, and action instead of But it's in the name, Tomb Raider. So it's like, how are you going to soften?
Well, you still you still.
Raid?
You still you still can, as long as you frame it. Like, I'm thinking of the Outgunned, the Outgunned adventure thing. And they said, like, okay, you eventually go into, I don't think they call it the dungeon, but like they call it the site or something. They're like, anything can be a site so long as you kind of envision it that way. So like, okay, Tomb Raider, as long as you're like, you're going to have to go recover some ancient artifact, but frame it so that you got to go uncover this ancient artifact before the really bad guys get it, right?
Right.
Frame it like you got to go get this ancient artifact because it's going to explode or something, right? Or you're recovering it for someone good, right? There are ways to do it, but I guess Square Enix didn't want to do it that way.
Yeah, probably the people there were very straightforward. This is exactly what we want: shoot bears and tigers, and just bring stuff in.
Watch Laura twist and turn and she drowns in that pool you can't get out of.
Right. Yeah. So it's been a long, ugly road, and I don't think it's going to get there. But yeah, like you're saying though, without the IP, I think Outgunned Adventure is a great way to play that game. And Broken Compass, their first kind of action game that Two Little Mice did, is also the same thing. They even used the kind of Indiana Jones font.
They did. Yeah, that Matt pointed out, like, it's the temple in Outgunned, right? Like, anything can be imagined as a temple, right? Yeah. Yeah,
and you always have, I forget what they called it in the Outgunned Adventure setting, but like a competitor or rival. You've got this, this somebody or Belosh. that you're fighting with. Yeah, so we'll see what comes up with. So a bunch of comments, a lot of people saying, I didn't know there was enough IP there to make a game, or just play Outgunned Adventure. So
there's apparently enough IP to make a couple movies.
Yeah, right. Yes, and
I say they were good movies, right?
Right. Yeah, so without the official license, I think if you want to play The Mummy, you want to play Indiana Jones, I think
Or from what it seems like Evil Hat's not just going to go like toss that in a bin. I'm pretty sure I saw something that said we're not throwing all this away. We're just stripping all the Tomb Raider IP out of it and putting it out as its own
that's
game,
right. Yeah, thank you. That's the one detail you missed. Yes. So as part of that announcement, which I totally skipped the end, they did say that they've been working on this for a while, and they're really proud of what they had done. So that to not let this go to waste. So they're canceling the project, but fear not. They will take the work that they've been doing and release it as their own. I think that's towards the end of what their other original. So it's going to be an original IP of theirs. So you haven't seen the last of it. The announcement also said that you'll get to see a new RPG with a fresh setting at some point. Based on this kind of this theming. So that's good, and that might be much more appealing if it's same with Outgunned Adventure. It might have the appeal because. Yeah, Lara Croft is kind of wearing out. It is such an ancient, game, and they keep kind of trying to rebrand her in movies and things and animation. And I don't think she has, because at that time, I mean, she was kind of a gay icon at that time. I didn't know a single lesbian that owned a PC that didn't play Tomb Raider. So she kind of existed in that space, and I don't think she does anymore. I think they've tried to, like maybe the Netflix series tried to refocus us. Yeah, just recently. Yeah. I think because of this anniversary coming up, they've been trying to license the heck out of it, and I don't think there's just not enough meat there to do much.
You're just not looking at the boob. All right.
Oh, that's right.
Sorry.
All right. But Mausritter. So Mausritter has released in a brave act of for the community a Creative Commons SRD for Mausritter. So Mausritter has always had digital free rules.
Oh, really?
It's had gorgeous print versions that kind of go out of print, and there's the really nice editions of the physical books. But Brave Mice in a Dangerous World. So now the rules The rules are now into a free Creative Commons licensed SRD, a bold move that will benefit the community and keep the game growing.
Yeah.
So they're really complimenting this quite a bit, saying the SRD is quite comprehensive, including their "What is a role-playing game" section.
Really? Wow. Okay.
Rules for running Mausritter, making your own hex crawls, as well as a full suite of tools for both players and GMs. So it's a rules light system. So you've got attributes and starting equipment and backgrounds, basically, to make a character. But now everything to play the game and to also build tools for the game. So there isn't a license, like there isn't a license to like use this system to make your own game. But what they are saying is it's going to be easier now than ever, especially when they did the markup version, or I'm sorry, markdown version. The markdown file version is good for programmers and app makers to easily make digital tools for character creation and tools for playing the game. So I think on some of the VTTs, especially Foundry, we're going to see more Mausritter content now because it's all, you have access to everything now in a markdown file.
I don't use it because I do everything by hand, but like I think markdown is also good for like graphic designers because it's really easy to say like, okay, set the different text styles for
each of these
header sections and stuff like that. I'm an official graphic designer. I forgot my lingo, right?
Yeah, so this was a nice thing to see. I mean, the game has always been available, and there's a few that there's a few of these, and even like board games and stuff that have this setting of the brave little mice in the big world.
I'm kind of torn on it.
Yeah, and so this was a good thing to see, and basically they use all the polyhedral dice, even though it's rules like you're rolling kind of just about everything from D4 to D20. So I'll put a link to the SRD you can take a look at, and it's on that website that also has the free PDF. So if you want to play Brave Little Mice, and they already have like a lot of character sheets and stuff.
There's a lot of stuff from Mausritter, I believe.
Yeah. So it's well supported. Yeah, so I'm surprised now that they have the SRD, and maybe they already do have. I didn't check the website thoroughly. Maybe there is already a gaming license for it.
Maybe.
But if there is, that would be nice to see it get supported. So Isaac Williams and Losing Games have now released under Creative Commons the SRD for Mausritter. And finally, what you've been waiting for. Daggerheart cannot be stopped. So Darrington Press continues to chug along, releasing. So they had this in the Daggerheart core rulebook. They had this nice little wheel that had all of their domains and then showed all of their classes, where what domains they used, and it was this, and now they keep adding stuff, so this wheel is going to get all lopsided and funky looking. So we already talked about the two previous, the Warlock and the Brawler classes were added. I guess they just want to get up to the astounding numbers of 5e. Now they're doing Witch and Assassin. So they have a playtest website for Daggerheart called The Void, and I'd put a link to that if you want to see.
Sounds pretentious.
That's where you download. That's where you download all of their playtest materials. So not only these two new classes have been added, but 6 new ancestries and 6 communities.
Well, you just said that why aren't there mice people in Daggerheart? Maybe there are now.
Now there are. Yes, so the ancestries are for these celestial-derived Aetherius ancestry and for gnomes. So Earthkin, Tidekin, Emberkin, Skykin. And you form up to Captain Planet, I think, emerges once you guys get in proximity.
I suppose WotC owns, or Hasbro owns, Gensai. Just say elemental and have one of them. Jesus.
Right. Yes.
All right.
And it's that's frustrating. That's the one question that's never quite answered in Daggerheart is there's so many ways for characters to fly. And flying destroys everything.
Just throw flying monsters at them.
No, there's so many things that even in that quick start that we played, there's a treehouse suspended on a rope, and it's just you have to figure out how you're going to climb the tree, whatever. Oh no, just fly up there. And so one of the characters can fly. So you just shortcut everything. So they have that built in, and they don't.
But see, Jeremy, you're not role playing enough. You're supposed to talk about your feelings.
Yeah. Oh my wings are so sore.
Yeah.
But so it's a little weird, and mechanically, I think if a character has wings, they get a advantage to combat or something, and it's a very simple.
So it's definitely a game about feelings and role playing and stuff like that. Huh?
Right.
Advantage to combat.
Yeah, so it's weird. It's really weird what they do with things that are physical, like wings and claws. It's just that kind of scares people and makes them go, ah. Okay, is that how we're going to play that? So yes, as you know, the physical copies of Daggerheart have been sold out, and I know you're waiting for this July 2nd print run of the Daggerheart physical books. PDFs are flying off those virtual shelves, and so it looks like they're going to be putting this stuff out and getting feedback. Who knows how much that's going to affect their release plans or whatever, but it may help them find like little stupid things that people
Tell us how you really feel.
have always hated about those, certain classes and stuff.
All right, I'm seeing something on that screen over there that we have the notes on. Do you have the assassin?
Yes.
There as well. Can I see it real quick?
Sure. Here he goes. Look at him.
No, I want to see.
He's a kitty. He's a big kitty.
I don't want to see furries.
There's a lot of them. There's a lot of them.
Yeah, I know. No, I just saw. All right, I am never going to be able to give Daggerheart a fair shake in terms of review because I just. Yeah. No, I saw that title. I'm like, The Witch, Hex Appeal. And I'm like.
I think this is the website that was
I'm sure it's the website. But I'm like, oh, that's why I wanted to see the assassin because I'm like, okay, what stupid little tagline did they put for that? Right? Assassin would have been better. Like, but it's like, hope you like these sixes. And like, I don't know, man. Like, I'm not going to harp on it anymore. I just, I don't like Critical Role.
But this is Darrington Press.
Doesn't matter. And therefore, I am never gonna look at Daggerheart with any kind of fair appraisal, right? Like anything they do is gonna be not great in my opinion. So that's what all these snide comments are coming from. You're just not gonna. I'll try to stop.
And really, I wonder how much communication between the designer, like the Darrington, kind of the head designer, and the guy, like co-founder of Darrington Press, and the actual, play group, the group that may be playing this as an actual play. I wonder how much they have gone back and forth, or they're just trying to design with them in mind. They're trying to design this game, or if there was actual collaboration.
I don't know. Like, I would like to know what's going on, or like, I would like to know the design process. Because it would be interesting to know. Okay. Did you design this to kind of be more, I don't know, my feeling is, did you design this to be more like a traditional or standard role-playing game, or did you design this more for like the actual play? And I'm not saying those two things are mutually exclusive, right? I'm just saying kind of which way did you lean on it and what influenced your design decisions?
Yeah, it is interesting because, them leaning so heavily into cards and stuff, it makes a very visual, very interesting product, but it doesn't make it more beginner friendly. I was surprised by that. I think, there's a strange balance to what they're doing, and it doesn't. I'm not sure what. Yeah.
Come on, Jeremy. The important thing is cards allow you to force people to buy more, right? Like
you can do foil and prismatic versions. Yes. Yeah. So the Witch is getting. Everybody every class gets their 2 subclasses on your little character sheet there. And the Witch is, of course, rituals and hexing, and you have a hedge witch or a moon witch. So a hedge witch is herbal and a moon witch is moonrific.
Sure those are mechanically distinct in a meaningful way.
Barely. So that wielding glamour magic. And then the assassin? Yes, the assassin is getting Executioner's Guild, which is basically a 5e rogue, or Poisoner's Guild, which means everything has poison on it. But so it'll have, and that's a strange thing. I wonder how they're going to handle the physical products, because obviously people are eating them up. And as they're playtesting and releasing these, I guess they'll just do an expansion and have all the cards and
I'm sure they will.
Character sheets and stuff.
Right?
So they'll just keep kind of cranking stuff out, which might be. I mean, leaning into cards, that might be a good way to keep people actively. So there will be people, and they've already been pretty friendly to doing, very printable PDFs to do. You don't have to buy anything. You can keep it all digital. But especially Demiplane. Demiplane has full graphics, of the cards and everything. So it represents like the physical product really well in the digital space. So you're not missing anything by not buying the cards. But it seems like they're going to keep adding to this. So I guess they have the 2 markets. If you want to play this game, it's very possible digitally, but you can also buy every freaking thing that they ever release.
Well, I mean, I can't.
That special version.
I can't fault that choice, right? Because I mean, if my social media feeds are anything, right? those with the players with the income, the disposable income to buy gadgets and gewgaws and all the extra ancillary stuff, right? They will do it, right? That's how many like, and I'm not immune from it either, right? Ooh, bought some new dice just for this one specific character, right? Or you buy all these extra things that you don't really need, right?
Right.
But like you can play with them. So it's if Darrington Press didn't do that, they'd be leaving money on the table.
Oh, yeah. But are we going to become the new Beetle and Grimm that produces the super deluxe luxury version of Daggerheart?
Bro, I have... Daggerheart. No. Flat answer, no. Right? No.
No.
No. If you want to... Okay, look... I've said it before. Tell me how much money we could make, and then I will decide if I sell out or not. Right? But
all right, let's see some numbers.
Let's see some numbers. Even if they're scrawled on a napkin, let's see some numbers. Am I going to be able to put my kid through college by selling out to Darrington Press? Right? Maybe. If the answer is yes, I'll probably do it. Right? But like you said, like, okay, well, why don't we start making a super high deluxe? And I'm like, Brighthammer, I can't figure out how to make like a 16-page pamphlet. No, 24, because it's 3 8-page things. I can't figure out how to make that deluxe. I've thought about it because I am kind of thinking about like, okay, I've not left money on the table, but a couple of people have said a physical version would be great. I've thought if I want to make a physical thing, I don't know how to make it more deluxe, right, to justify the price. So, I mean, if people do have something, they say, and here's the cards, and here's the dice, and here's then cool, okay, go for it, right? People will buy it.
And I think this excitement of something that's obviously got money behind it now, and now designers, possibly designers behind it from D&D, is getting people excited. And so, we've had so many, ever since the OGL debacle, so many, we can be 5e too. No, this is the real 5e. No, we can do 5e better. And then this comes out and everyone's like, oh yeah, what are we talking about? Tales of the Valiant what? Yeah.
There's also Draw Steel and all those other ones.
Yeah. So,
well, okay. To be fair to all those other games, and I don't really pay attention to them because I'm just like, I don't know. If it's D20 based, I'm not really all that interested. But I highly doubt any of those other D&D 5e killers had the existing audience behind them that Critical Role does. Right? That's the... Okay, I don't want to exclusively say that's the difference because it throws the designers under the bus, but I would say that is a huge factor in the success here.
Yeah, but they haven't, with their first investigative, not Cthulhu game, they didn't really have huge success with that. A little bit.
They didn't.
People talked about it, so yeah, we'll see.
But that brings us back to the point, what, apart from a couple one-shots and like specials, what game does Critical Role play?
Yep.
High fantasy in the vein of D&D 5e, right? Like they can do their like one-offs. Here's our Candela Obscura. Here's our one-off Monster Hearts. Here's our one-off original science fiction game that I really just bit off an alien without any credit. Anyway, right? Like that's not the game they play on, as far as I know, that's not the game they play on the regular. So I don't... Not that they couldn't have been successful, but I think that's also a huge factor too, right? The fans, the people watching it, if they don't see that on the screen, like week after week after week, why? Huh?
Yeah. And now that they're, I think the one thing that we're going to be losing from this, which I don't think you had a lot of hope in anyhow, but we saw them attempt to play indie RPGs, do one shots, and they weren't presenting the games very well, so they weren't really helping anybody draw attention to any games. Like they did Monster Hearts, right? They had a Monster.
Don't remind me, bro. Don't remind me. Okay, that'd be fair. That's the one I watched, and that is kind of subconsciously making me wonder how Daggerheart was designed, because I was real excited when they said they were going to play Monster Hearts because that's one of my favorite games. I watched it, and within like 5 minutes, I was screaming at the screen in nerd rage because they were playing the game wrong, right? They were playing the game wrong for the way it was written and the way the experience by the author was intended to be played. They were playing it like their normal AP, where talking doesn't trigger anything. We're just talking, and then scene, right? So, man, I was mad about that. I was kind of letting it go. But that, knowing they did that, I have to think they designed, or the people designed Daggerheart to be played that way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, to be extra. Yeah, you just resolve everything by just having a conversation. Oh, we haven't rolled any dice. Oh, okay.
If you haven't rolled any dice, why the fuck are you playing the game?
Right.
Unless the game doesn't use dice. None of those snide, well, this game doesn't use dice. Draw a card. Okay, well, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, so I wonder, I forget how many, it was quite a few classes that were in the core book, so I wonder if they're going to play test up to that amount and then release like the, volume 2 or whatever they're going to call it. So we'll see that eventually. But so now we've appeased the almighty algorithm, and people will actually see everything else we talked about because we had a hashtag that said Daggerheart. All right, enough of that. Well, that'll do it for this week. Yay. So where can people find you?
Social media, mostly Blue Sky and Instagram. It's Hivemind, HYVEMYND, where I'm posting pictures of Frostgrave soldiers. I think my Wargame Atlantic's Foot Knight box arrived. Got the notification, hopefully. And I'm just breaking my 6mm thing because someone pointed me to this game Blackout, which is 32mm scale mil-spec sci-fi.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
Miniatures look really nice. It plays on a 2-foot square table, and it's supposed to be like really fast. Anyway, the models look really cool, so I'm like,
Well, you had a good 6 months, run there.
I had a good 6-month run of 6mm and smaller, right? Anyway. So yeah, look forward to that. Nice. How about you?
So I just did a live stream for June for my domestic abuse, the single panel gag cartoon that I do, and ate a lot of waffles.
Oh, ooh, okay.
There were a surprising number of waffle snacks.
Number of waffles
at the convenience store, and so I'll be doing one in July. So that'll probably just be in a few weeks, or July 30th, like it usually is, and. So we'll do that again, but I eat some snacks from the convenience store, just kind of chat and draw that cartoon. You can read that cartoon, which is a single panel gag cartoon, on GoComics, gocomics.com/domestic abuse, which is in the description. Yep. And if you like what we're doing here on the weekly, consider becoming a weekling.
The strongest of all supporters.
You can do that by going to patreon.com/upturnedtable. And there are other tiers that you can pledge at to tell us what you like to do. That'll get you into the Discord automatically, which unfortunately YouTube is a manual thing.
All right.
And then you can chat with everybody that you chat with during the live streams in the Discord. And
question:
yes,
is there a tier for more Daggerheart?
Oh,
because if there is, please take it off.
delete
that tier. Right?
No, we're just addicted to the numbers that ever since we played Daggerheart, everything else has gotten more attention. So
really, okay. Yeah. So I guess we got to keep playing it. Right?
That's good.
All right.
We don't have to play it; we just have to mention it.
All right.
And yes, so upturntable.com is the website for everything on all social media. Upturned Table. Tomorrow we'll be doing Dragonbane, continuing the Dragonbane actual play, and some undocumented Frostgrave.
Oh, nice.
on
Yep,
Sunday. Yeah.
Yep.
So we'll enjoy playing the Hunt for the Golem, right?
Yeah,
third scenario?
The second.
I
think we're on the second.
Oh, that's right. The second.
Yeah, no one wants to hear me curse up as much as I do once I get hit with all those mind controls, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. So thank you for joining us, and we'll be back again next week.
Later, mortals.
Goodbye. So yeah, a little bit different lighting scheme, probably a little warmer, and it's going to be maybe different depending on how rainy a day it is. So, but yeah, I think this saved me. At least it was driving me crazy, that feedback from the fluorescence, or that buzz. Matt dreading the more Daggerheart. Yeah, it's funny. I was looking at, just kind of what was going on news-wise, and there just was nothing. And I'm like, oh, Daggerheart. We mentioned that before. So it's a good thing for our live stream to have in the algorithm. I apologize. We'll just have to see how we do. We'll find the next thing. Oops, all Daggerheart. That's right. The channel. Yeah, we'll rename the channel to Oops, all Daggerheart. Sorry. Now we're gonna review the cards one at a time. We're gonna rate the cards. We're gonna have a ranking for all the different abilities and spells in Daggerheart. Yeah, we still got to do the postmortem on that. I think that would be a fun. That'll be a fun discussion to just kind of go blow by blow, like character creation and campaign setting and different mechanics, and see if there is anything there, anything redeeming. I don't think there's not really anything new that was done. That's getting harder and harder to do in systems, but I'm glad Abyss fully accepts the special bus shill ride. Nice. Yes, and thanks to a new subscriber, Hi B. So yes, Dragonbane, more Dragonbane coming up. I can't believe how many times I think when Will and I were going through the book, I think either of us called it Dragonheart because Daggerheart. Once you get dragons on the brain, Daggerheart's hard to get out. Soviet Gnome was saying, did Embracer load Asmodee? Yeah, with the debt after acquisition. Yeah, when they started breaking stuff up, I think they realized, like the video game companies, and they don't have any assets. Asmodee does. They have inventory, and they're producing physical goods, so they had assets that they could borrow against. So they saddled, as far as what we talked about before, they saddled Asmodee with all the actual debt from their failed acquisitions, like all that crazy stuff. Yeah, so it was all after acquisition debt, and they offloaded it, got them to get a loan. Yes, yeah, I think from their because they had a lot of failed deals and investors in, especially the Saudi Arabia, like $1 billion that they didn't get. So I think that's they saddled Asmodee with that because they knew they could dig themselves out. But that means that there's going to be years. There's not going to be any digital development or anything that Asmodee is going to be able to do aside from just survive the currency market, survive the shipping supply chain bumps, and just keep printing Settlers of Catan or whatever their big seller is. Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yes, that's right. The bankruptcy default. Yeah, that's right. Matt's got it. Yeah, it's really might want to move my estimate on the death of Asmodee. Yeah, like we were talking about the loan with a variable rate, and then all the stuff that they're dealing with currency markets and stuff. They could have a year bad enough to knock them out. That would suck if like Hasbro or somebody swooped in and grabbed that. Although I don't think Hasbro is capable of printing decent quality board games, so we'll have to see. They'll just do digital everything. Yes. All right. Yes. So the Soviet Gnome saying, so the $400 million investment from Embracer is bringing down the debt. It was actually to buy shares of the new publicly traded Asmodee spinoff. What a shell game. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what Chris was saying. This should be illegal. Yes. Oh yeah, and then we moved on to Tomb Raider. It belongs in a museum. Everybody's got to have that that justification. We're not exploiting. We're not digging up the dead. We just gotta we gotta raid the tombs before they get looted. We're not tomb looters. We're tomb raiders. That's higher on the. We gotta raid the tombs before they get looted. We're not tomb